Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hi Catherine, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, warming up over here. I really love what our topic is tonight, and it speaks to so many things that we're doing across the world as you travel, as we stay put in our hometown. Some of us were snowed in, but I think it's a really great topic. So I'll do a quick intro to myself and yourself. I know you're doing some tech. So if you're tuning in for the first time tonight, welcome to the Gratitude Girls Coaching and Training. My name is Catherine Sarah Myers, affectionately known as RaRa. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from lovely Niagara on the Lake, Ontario, Canada. And I'm here with my amazing partner.
And I am Lori Delkradecki, and I am now outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I've been in 7 different states over the last 6 days.
Yes, you really know how to collect postal codes or zip codes, as they would say. So tonight,
Right.
and you are committed to excellence. And tonight, our topic is what is your commitment level? So think about that question. Think about where it lands for you. Is this a personal question? Is this a business question? And I'll open the conversation because I just stepped out of a sound healing bath yin class. So we talk about commitment level, getting there, taking the class, getting back in time to be right here, right now. What commitment level are you at? Am I at? With Lori and I, and with you, our audience, that's a very high commitment level for me and for Lori. To get here and to be on time and to sit in a healing sound bath, which I know brings an energy to me that I can feel. I still feel the vibration. It's a lot of coordinating, but it feels so good. So for this to be here tonight, my commitment level is very high. Hopefully you can feel that radiating from your phone or your tablet or your desktop.
Yes, absolutely. And the same thing, like we were traveling and 7 different states in 6 days. And today we were driving home, and instead of, and a lot of things I do put my husband first for many things. And right, you always have to figure out that balance, right? But instead of us stopping and having a nice lunch and taking our time to get back, I said, I have to be back for my meeting, right? So it's a commitment level, right? So there's always going to be things that come up, and we can always talk to you and coach you on things like that also, where you do have to be flexible, but that's a whole nother training and a whole nother topic. But what is your commitment level of where you're at? Like, what is your commitment to your family? What
Mm.
is your commitment level to your friends? What is your commitment level to your spouse? What's your commitment level to your business partner? Right? And what is your commitment level to your business? So you decide in your business. Catherine and I both run several different businesses and a couple together, but we have different commitment levels to those things, and we have to stick to them, right? Otherwise, you're not going to succeed.
And the success to this, one of the successes is having a partner. So Lori and I are accountable. We're business partners and we are highly accountable. So we really align on this. If you don't have someone in your life like that, well, you're certainly looking at where you could align with it. Because we hold each other, I would say we hold each other accountable for our word. We don't have to check with one another and say, and you must have done it with yourself. You'll ask someone, are you okay about later today? We don't do that. Our word is our word. Whatever we have to do, we get there in business and in personal. So if you're wondering what commitment level you're at, think about the language that you have right here in your mind, because that speaks very loudly. How you speak to yourself, if you could, if you should, is somebody there? Is somebody going to make it? Should you check with them? Should you make sure? Sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to check to make sure that everything's okay. Why? You know what you're doing. You gave your word. Other than maybe a different ETA, You are where you are expected to be. There's no reason to not believe in yourself and what you've done. So if you are one of those people with a conversation going on in your head that prevents you from taking a step forward until you check and double check and look for perfection, maybe you're not as committed as you think, because maybe you're just a little bit uncertain. And we can talk to you about those things. And it happens. Sometimes I get dressed and I think, is this comfortable? And if it's not, I will change. I should know that as I'm getting dressed, but sometimes I just say, I like the way that looks, but I don't like the way it feels. So I'm not necessarily talking about that, but that is a level of commitment too, because you don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction. So, Lori, can you share, because you were just in 6 different states, what was one of the thoughts, or what were one of the thoughts that went through your mind so that you could actually get back home in time and not just go and continue to have fun and say, look, it's one meeting. I just won't be there one day. Like, see you next week. What do you tell yourself so that you could stay so grounded?
Right. Yeah. Well, for one, that exactly that. It's that commitment that I've made to be there. And so if it's not an urgent reason, right? Like we said, there's things that are gonna come up, right? Something may happen if you get sick or if, some family emergency happens, then that's a different story. But if you're like, I want to, we stopped at a store on the way that I really liked. I would have loved to shop there another hour, and I could have. And I could have texted Catherine and she would have been like, I understand. I got you. We'll do it later. But is that ethical for me? Right? Is that because that's it? We have a commitment to each other. And so the same thing, doing this since 2013, every single week, we have that commitment level to each other. And yes, there's things that have come up through the years, right, on our day. But for the most part, you have to decide. And that's it. It's simply a decision. It's a choice, right?
Mm.
We all have choices. My book's around here somewhere. But we all have choices in what we're going to do. And are you going to make that choice to make that commitment? The same thing to your business partner, to yourself, right? This is part my business too. And so it's a commitment to myself also, as well as to Catherine.
And you
So
know what oh, sorry. You know what I find? I find that our bodies are sort of telling us that's where we need to be. It's like going to an exercise class. You crave what you know you have waiting for you. So aside from all the things that may prevent us from getting here, it feels complete to be here.
yes, yes, that's a good way to say it too. Yes. And it felt, and like when I got home, the same thing. Yeah, I had a peace. And I had told my husband this, and I was telling Catherine this earlier. I just had a peace once we got home. I'm at peace. I'm home in my space. I love to travel with my husband. I love to travel with business meetings, but I also love being home too. And in the same thing, like we talked about, not only the commitment to other people, but I think one of the biggest things is the commitment to yourself. So if you're having issues making a commitment to yourself in any area, because a lot of times also the area that we need the help in, a lot of times we don't want to admit that we need the help in, or the same thing, we make the excuses, right?
It's
Make
reading.
the excuses. It's easy, right? I mean, I can come up with the best excuses, I promise you that. And they're valid. But the same thing, if you want to achieve the results of whatever it is that you're doing, then maybe you need to reset that commitment to yourself.
And to elaborate on that before we go, if you're wondering, well, sure, you're sitting at home, you're pushing a button, you're getting on camera. Maybe you don't think that's difficult, or maybe you do think it's difficult because it terrifies you. Either way, let's talk about something in life where you get up and you get out of the house and you go somewhere and something happens that just it might even be tragic, that would just derail you. If you're a person who has walked away from a commitment because you thought something else was hard or made it hard, or you walked away because you just thought, I don't think I'm as ready, and you quit because it must have happened once in your life. If you've done that and you think that it's a pattern in your life, you might want to stop that right now. You might want to stop quitting, stop walking away when something hard shows up. Stop making excuses because, like Laurie said, she probably has, I too, we probably have the best excuses in the world. We've heard them for decades. We don't even have to think too hard. We hear them all the time. And you do too, because you're here listening to this tonight. So if there's something that you quit or you use an excuse like time or money, whatever excuse you're using, stop using that excuse, make a commitment and do it. Like Nike says, a plug for Nike, just do it. Like your shirt, what does your shirt say? Boss women?
Boss women pray.
Boss women pray. Eat, pray, love. I love it. So if you have this habit, we give you permission to abandon that bad habit, start a new one, and decide what your commitment is. Laura, you have a gratitude journal behind you. I think we can write our commitments in our journal and write part of the day what we're doing and write that we made a commitment to ourselves. I have many journals that I write in, and I write words down as they just come to my mind so I can look at them at the end of the day and realize that that's a word that I wrote. And during the course of the day today, I wrote the word buy book because I wanted to have a new book in my life. So as I was going through, I thought somebody's going to come up with that. So I made a commitment before the end of the day. I will go on Amazon and I'll buy a book. If you have a suggestion, anyone who's listening, just put a message to us. So Lori, what can people do in terms of a commitment? Do you have an exercise? I say write it down, write it in our journal or any journal that you want.
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely write it down. Write it. If you write it, even more than typing it, Kevin and I, we've been talking about typing a journal together for 5 years. Today, we bought a journal. So, and we are going to start writing it out and doing what we've talked about for 5 years that we haven't did it yet, right? And so exactly that. If you're, and the same thing, if you pray, you should pray, but you still have to take the action, right? You still have to move, you still have to do something. So if you need help with that, if you have questions with that, go to facebook.com/gratitude girls, hit the message there and send us a message, or you can send us a note at gratitudegirlscoaching@gmail.com. If you want to see the thousands and thousands of trainings that we have done, they're all on our Facebook page at gratitudegirls.com, or you can find us on all our social medias at Gratitude Girls. Of course, give us a review, give us a subscribe, a follow, all those things, a share. We will always reach back out to you. And like I said, if you need help, if you want to just talk to somebody through your commitment to help you in whatever area, just reach out to us and we will be happy to help you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
See you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.